Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 34 for PSES, the Hi-Tech Security Services 115 here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Texas proved to be a wild race last week and a point shakeup as our first race in the round of 8. With 2 races left in the season, who will be above the cutoff? And you're going to have to stay tuned to find out, as I'm here with Jordan McGraw bringing you all the action from the booth. And I'll tell you what, guys, next week at Martinsville, that is the cutoff to the Final Four. It's going to be absolutely insane. But Jordan, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, I guess.
I think it's going to be a crazy race. I've talked to drivers, and they're saying how the conditions are a little loose out there. So we're going to see some of these guys struggle to find grip and their way around the track. And I want to take a look at the points here. Take a look at this. We have Hunter Johnson in the lead. He's got 3,039 points. We have Andrew Wisdom in second, just a few points behind with Matthew O'Brien at 3,000. And it looks like 35, so points are extremely close, and it's going to be so important for these drivers to get every bit of points that they can out of the race here tonight. Let's go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, this is gonna be a interesting race. How that it's gonna run. So I imagine with the way this place kind of tends to be, the bottom will work for a little while, but as the tires wear, I figure the line is going to move up the racetrack toward the high side, and that's going to make things incredibly tough to pass. So qualifying is going to be incredibly important tonight. Track position going to be incredibly important. It's always important, especially when you have as big of a field as we have here tonight, 27 cars. But yeah, definitely going to want to nail this qualifying session here. I imagine a lot of our playoff drivers probably going to wait and see if the temperatures will go down before they make their lap. They still have 8.5 minutes to put a time down.
Yeah, we only have a couple of guys out right now. Robert Reynolds, Joel Conley, Andrew Wisdom. These guys are out on track right now for qualifying. But take a look at the playoff standings here. We have Johnson at 11 ahead, Wisdom 8 ahead, O'Brien 7, Haynes +3, and then the cutoff. These are the drivers below the line. Honeycutt at -3, Snyder 6 below, Fafke 7 below, and then Burke, who missed a race. He is going to really struggle out there. So these guys really need to get every single point that they can here tonight. You see Andrew Wisdom out there. He is putting down a heater lap at the moment, so we'll see what that does for him as far as going up on the board. Wisdom in the lead, Reynolds in second here, and Joel Conley in third with a 30.72, and he gets moved to fourth as Kerr goes up the board into second.
Yeah, Conley on his cool down lap had a little bit of a spin, but he got 2 laps in, so that's not going to hurt him or do anything there. But yeah, Jacob Kerr puts in a 6:04, and I was thinking a lot of our drivers would wait to see if the temps would go down, but Andrew Wisdom gets out there very early here in this qualifying session and puts down the first mark I think these drivers are going to look for. We saw some really fast times in practice, but those were all a lot of those were draft times. It felt like 6s would be competitive for the pole, but as we see here with Andrew Wisdom's time, he's run a mid-5, a 5.44, and that is a really stout mark for these guys to try to hit.
Absolutely. I want to give a shout out to everyone in chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Kool-Aid says temps will go down, and he also says, hush, J-Mac. We see you out there doing good. Stratus, what's up? Congratulations again. Hall, thank you so much for the biddies. I appreciate it. Special Dog, I'm with you. I want to know who's going to make the Final Four. This is nail-biting stuff here. The points are so incredibly close. Anything can happen. And take a look at this 97 of Douglas King and his paint scheme. How cool is that? I'm liking these. Doc Holliday out in that number 88. A new paint scheme for him too tonight. We have John Holliday. He is on track, going pretty slow, decides to pull it off track there. Adam Rowe in the number 15. a lot of new schemes out here. I'm enjoying seeing what these guys have brought to the table, but Andrew Wisdom still holding on to pole with a 30.54. Kerr in second with a 30.60. Robert Reynolds in third. Sean Burke in fourth. Joel Conley in fifth. Douglas King in sixth. Adam Rowe in seventh. And Jorge Rincon over here in eighth. Let's take a look at John Honeycutt as he is out here on track trying to get his run in. We saw him stopped on the side of the track there, so not sure if he was fixing something, but here he is in the Melody Woodworks car out here tonight. Fabia, thank you so much for tuning in. I know, big Honeycutt fan, so hopefully he does something great. We have Send out here. He has not been out on track. That is going to be Hunter Johnson. He is currently in the points lead. So we'll see what he can do here tonight also. John Honeycutt looking like he is having a great run. Second on the board with a 30.59 so far. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
There's a lot of grip out on the racetrack right now. Just making some laps here in test drive. It is very, very grippy. It's full throttle the whole way around. So these drivers should be able to put some really good lap times down.
Matt O'Brien moves into second with a 30.56. Look how close these times are, you guys. With the amount of grip that we're seeing, that is definitely helping these guys in qualifying at the moment. We're going to see what it does for them out as we hit the race track and go for the race here tonight. But man, I think we're going to see some slipping and sliding, but so far the grip is really working out for these guys, and you're seeing some phenomenal times out here. Tom Flitcroft on the board in P5 with a 30.60, tied with teammate Jacob Kerr. Jamie Haynes going to take over the fourth spot with a 30.57. John Holliday on the board in seventh with a 30.61. Sammy Harrell with a 30.62, tied with Robert Reynolds for a 30.62. It's just crazy how these tracks, it just tells you the type of racing that we are going to see. Very, very close. I think we're going to see a lot of hard racing. Next week is the cutoff, Martinsville. Can you guys imagine the paperclip going to be the cutoff race? We're going to see a lot of bumping, a lot of banging, some aggression going up there. Might see a couple of helmets thrown after the race. We'll have to find out. But so far, 15 drivers on the board. Send, let me know, are you going to qualify tonight? He says, make me. Let's see what he does. He may decide to stay out, and we'll see what happens. Oh, there he goes. Hunter Johnson, that number 32, out on the track, trying to get that qualifying run in. Sean Blanchard moving up to 10th on the board. Nobody touching Wisdom's time with a 30.54. Some getting close. Honeycutt moves up to second with a 30.55. So these guys still, again, very, very close, and it is going to be wild racing.
Wow.
Ryan Crooks takes over the board with a 30.52, taking over Wisdom's spot. Ryan Crooks, he has always come out here with a very, very strong car, so I'm excited to see what he can do. Interesting thing, I want to take a look. Playoff drivers, second, third, fourth, fifth. You see them right here in purple. They will have purple on their car to distinguish them from the others. And then from fifth, we have Hunter Johnson going to be in sixth. He's going to be the final playoff driver in the top six. Then 12th and 14th will be another set of playoff drivers.
Up until then, the times were really incredibly close. Only 7 thousandths between Wisdom and Honeycutt, and then Matthew and O'Brien, Thomas Harmon, and Jamie Haynes separated by 8 thousandths. Those three, with O'Brien and Harmon themselves only separated by 1. Hunter Johnson slots in 5 thousandths of a second behind Andrew Wisdom and 2 thousandths behind in front of John Honeycutt. So the time's really tight, but Ryan Crooks' time of a 5.29, really, really impressive. 15 thousandths ahead of second place.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to beat. And as qualifying is winding down here, I'm not sure anyone's going to be able to beat that. As I don't think, have we seen that type of time here tonight, just even in practice? I don't think anyone got that low, did they? Not that I recall, but it looks like it is winding down for these guys. Jose Ruiz out here. He's on track trying to make a run. In that 29 car, we have Chris Fathke in that 27 trying to make a run out here. Jose Ruiz moves up to P5 in his run. Great night start. Yeah, I was about to say, great night, great solid lap for him. Tied with John Honeycutt, his teammate.
I really thought like a low 6, like about what Jacob Kerr ran, would be competitive for the top 5, and there he is in 9th, in danger of not in danger because qualifying just ended, but right there on the fringe of the top 10. So really fast times around Kansas Speedway, but we're about to start gridding up, and we're gonna be really close to going green.
Let's take a look if we have the grid out, and it is out at the moment. Cars have not hit the track yet. 115 laps here. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Hi-Tek Security Services. Thank you so much for being a sponsor, and also Melody Woodwork. These guys are amazing, and they've been with us for a few races now, so it's really cool to have them with us once again throughout the playoffs. And let's go ahead and get that countdown started here. Ryan Crooks, our pole sitter, out in that number 25. Let's take a look at him here. He's going to be on pole. We're going to have Andrew Wisdom on the outside in that number 9 for Nitro Motorsports. In row 2, we have Hunter Johnson, our points leader. He's in that number 32 with John Honeycutt on the outside. In row 3, we have Jose Ruiz in the number 29 for Frozen Toes Racing with Matt O'Brien on the outside for Nitro Motorsports. In row 4, we have Thomas Harmon in the 68 with Jamie Haynes on the outside. And in row 5, we have Jacob Kerr in the 20 car with Thomas Splitcraft in the 8 on the outside.
In row 6, we have Doc Holliday on the inside of Sammy Harrell. Robert Reynolds starts 13th with Cole Snyder alongside him in 14th. Sean Blanchard and Christopher Fathke are in row 8. Row 9 is made up of Sean Burke and Adam Rowe, and Joel Conley and Douglas King make up row 10.
Row 11 is going to start us off with Enrique Quinones in that 45 car with Jorge Rincon in the 28. And row 12 is going to be Austin Collins in that 00 with Dakota Kramer on the outside in that 24. And we're going to have row 13 is going to be Bud Shear in that 93 with Byron Jones in the 55. And in row 14, we have Charlie Mosley Jr. in the 89 with Michael Bain on the outside. And that is going to be your field here tonight as they hit the track for their pace lap.
Yeah, some drivers up front that already have a bit of beef with each other. The 32 and the 9 have made a lot of contact with each other the last couple of weeks. Those two are going to be directly beside each other in all likelihood going down into turn 1. And then Honeycutt and Wisdom, those two have gotten together a couple of times. O'Brien, he's been involved in a few things. He's one of those drivers that we expect to see around the end, but he's had some misfortune late in these races the last few weeks. Will he be able to bounce back and get a strong finish tonight? We'll see. This is going to be really exciting here. Which of these drivers can maintain throughout the night and take home the win and score enough points to make it a little bit easier for themselves when they go to Martinsville next week?
Absolutely. I want to give another shout out to everyone in chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know these guys appreciate it, and I know we sure appreciate your support out here. Let me know who you think is going to win. We're getting ready to go to green as the pace car pulls off here. Let's take a look as Ryan Crooks will lead us to the green with Andrew Wisdom on the outside. You guys, we are green here at Hi-Tek Security Services 115 at Kansas Motor Speedway. Solid start for these guys, completely side by side. Wisdom holding out that high side pretty well, but Hunter Johnson, we know he is a great pusher, and he is all over the back bumper of Ryan Crooks. Takes it to the high side, the 29 of Jose Ruiz. He is on the inside. These guys are starting to line up a little single file.
Yeah, the 29 of Jose Ruiz got real loose trying to work the throttle to 3 and 4. It had to make a nice save, but that's going to lose a lot of momentum. He's going to fall into the middle of the pack, and that's what we're going to see at the beginning of this race. A lot of these drivers are going to try their hardest to get down to that bottom lane, try to save some tire. It looks like the 9 might have had a little bit of slip and kind of eased out of the throttle and out of the steering just to make sure it didn't get loose. But meanwhile, we have a battle for the lead as Hunter Johnson looks underneath Ryan Crooks into 3.
There he goes for the lead as he takes a peek under. Going to try to get up ahead. Not able to complete the passes. He is going to hang out low to go through the tri-oval into the first turn. Still not exactly clear as Ryan Crooks is going to hang out on the outside. This is most definitely going to make him clear. And you guys, we're going to see some slide jobs here tonight at Kansas Motor Speedway. And we're going to get pretty close to testing the waters and what they can do without contact.
Yeah, the inside lane is going to be the dominant lane for a little while, but as these tires wear, we're going to see if these drivers start working their way up the track. The outside in 3 and 4 works really, really well, especially when the car tightens up, which feels a little bit different from logic. Usually, when you're in real life, when your car tightens up, you hear they want to ride the bottom, but really, I think 3 and 4 we're definitely going to see these drivers navigate the top a little bit quicker than in 1 and 2. The grip throughout the turn pretty well stays there throughout the run, or pretty deep into the run, I should say.
These guys are pretty darn close. Take a look at the top 4. We have Hunter Johnson, Andrew Wisdom, Ryan Crooks, and John Honeycutt. Right underneath Ryan Crooks, who was on the pole. He has since fallen back to P3. He's going to be in danger of losing that to John Honeycutt. We'll see what he can do here, but man, oh man, the racing is tight. And you guys, I knew it was going to be since the times were so close in qualifying. Now we just got to find out how they are in the long run.
Yeah, and we've had a change for the lead there. Andrew Wisdom ran the middle lane through 1 and 2, was able to gin up a run to get underneath Hunter Johnson down the back straight and then complete the pass through 3 and 4, so move him to the lead as they head down the back straight. Meanwhile, the 32 pulls the exact same move on the 9 of Andrew Wisdom. A little bit of anything you can do, I can do better. But Johnson not able to clear him. Wisdom about a lane up the racetrack. Looked like he was going to get a little tight there, but able to keep her off the wall. He's going to run the racetrack. Johnson on the apron, but Wisdom going to use that momentum to get his nose out in front of them. They head into 1 and 2 side by side. Johnson with the preferred lane through the center, but Wisdom with the preferred lane on exit.
Take a look at this battle here. The 32 really struggling to hold that out, but the 9 has some help from Ryan Crooks directly behind him. Hunter Johnson gonna fall back to second. He's gonna try to make his way in front of Ryan Crooks. Not able to do it. Gonna go down low into the tri-oval. Try to make it a good angle into that first corner. But Andrew Wisdom is really doing a great job on that high side, keeping up the momentum with that help. John Honeycutt, you see him get kind of loose going off of the corner exit there. He's got some help from Matthew O'Brien, so we'll see what they can do. But man, Jordan, what a battle so far. Take a look.
Yeah, Ryan Crooks gets underneath the 9 of Andrew Wisdom, did a nice job getting down lower, and these drivers are starting to commit to running the outside lane all the way around the track a lot earlier than I figured they would. 3 and 4, I figured they'd move up there, but I figured they'd run a little bit lower. Wisdom running that middle lane there through 1 and 2, able to get the run back on Crooks, and he's going to have a little bit of a push from Hunter Johnson, but going to get side drafted as they go down the back straight. That's going to allow Crooks to get the momentum back. He's going to slide up just a little bit. I think Wisdom had a little bit of a bobble. Not sure if he got loose or he reacted to the 25 coming up, but either way, that allowed the 32 of Johnson to get a look. Those two really tight on each other on the racing surface, while the 32 was down on the apron. They all head into 1 at this massive gaggle of cars. Now they're exiting 2.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. And I have to give a big shout out to J. Paul. Thank you so much for the bits. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Arnold, I see you out there rooting for that number 50. He is doing amazing out there. P4 at the moment, and you can see these guys too wide all the way back. This is absolutely incredible racing. He goes up super high, has to correct it in order to not hit Hunter Johnson in that 32. Ryan Crook's getting super tight, falling back. I don't know if he got loose or tight, but man, oh man, that's gonna cost him.
I think tight. I think he dove it in there a little bit harder than he needed to, and lost the nose. Meanwhile, the 32 looked like he got the wall a little bit. Not sure if it was enough to damage that machine too much or not. We'll see. Here's the run goes along, but all of that allowed the 9 of Wisdom to get clear. He runs the apron down the front straight. Now we'll see where he chooses to go. He runs the high line through 1 and 2. Hunter Johnson goes down to the very, very bottom of the racetrack. And you can see these drivers already becoming committed to running that outside lane. That's going to be harder on these on those right tires. But with the amount of grip that we have with this race being at night, that might be balanced out, and that might be the fast way to go throughout the entire run. But we're going to see. It looked like Wisdom maybe got a little tight there. The 32 of Hunter Johnson made a lot of speed on that bottom. He slides up right on his bumper. Wisdom runs a little bit lower in that middle lane this time around through 1 and 2. Johnson staying committed to that inside lane as they go down the back straight side by side.
I don't think there has been a single part of this track that has not been raced side by side, especially for this lead. Hunter Johnson takes over the lead. Will he be able to hold on to it? That high side has such momentum, so he's going to have a lot of work to do as Andrew Wisdom. He's got the help from John Honeycutt behind him, and he's going to push him into that first corner. He's going to go up pretty high riding that high side, but man, Andrew Wisdom in the 32 going side by side. Contact between the 9 and the 50, and there it is, guys. Our first caution of the night.
Yeah, it looked like he just slid up into there. We'll see here but it looked like the 9. Yeah, he got tight, and then the 50. That was some big net code. That was some big net code, but yeah, just drivers trying to be aggressive. The 9, it looked like he was going to slide up into the 50, and the 50 kind of checked up, and the 9 continued to lose speed and was down a lane and was giving that line to Honeycutt. It's just the net code didn't help, but I don't think the 50 was in the wrong there. It just two drivers being real aggressive at the beginning of this race.
Yeah, I don't think there's much that they could have done. It's just how it goes sometimes, but let's take a look at the Hi-Tek Security Services in-car cam. Thank you so much for being a sponsor. They have incomparable security service to safeguard life, property, and assets. You can visit them at hightechsecuritynow.com. These guys are headed on to pit road. Johnson, our leader, he is out there on pit road, so we'll take a look. I don't see anyone going to be staying out.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to want to get tires as often as they can.
Thank you so much for the biddies. 250 from Hall. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll see how these guys come out from pit road. You can see them there all lining up. We have our first driver off of pit road. That is going to be Samuel Harrell. Quite the pit strategy right there. So we'll see him lining up first in the line.
Yeah, the 5th looks like the 9 car used his fast repair, so that is going to be a big story going forward. The race, it's going to be pack racing. We've seen drivers slipping and sliding. It's going to be treacherous out there. There are definitely going to be more wrecks. So one of our playoff contenders who is not yet locked in to the final round is now in a very precarious position going forward in this race.
Joel Conley going to come off of pit road in second with Matt O'Brien in third. Ryan Crooks in fourth with Jacob Kerr. He's going to be in fourth. Or I mean fifth, I should say. These guys are switching around. It looks like Samuel Harrell's going on to pit road, so Joel Conley will be our new leader coming back to the green. Lap 17 of 115. Still a lot of racing left here, but quite the exciting race that we've seen so far. And man, I'll tell you what, so much pressure for these guys to get in the final four. No one has gotten a win yet in this round, so it is still up for grabs. Technically, anything can happen here, Jordan.
Yeah, and just to follow that up, the 50 as well had to use his faster pair, so that's 2 playoff drivers now who will be going for the rest of this race. There's still over 100 laps remaining, or there are 100 laps remaining in this race, and both of those drivers going forward without their faster pairs and in need of points tonight.
John Honeycutt in 17th at the moment. Andrew Wisdom gonna be in 7th. Hunter Johnson comes out in 21st. These guys are going to have to work up through the field, and it's going to be quite the hill to climb, but these are 3 drivers that I guarantee they're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, and also Thomas Harmon, a driver that we've seen run up the front of a lot of these races, not in the playoffs, but a contender to win race in and race out. He was also involved modestly heavily. I'm not sure if he used his faster pair or not, but yeah, a lot of carnage there and some really fast cars involved in that accident.
Hunter saying he got busted for speeding. I was curious why you were back there. Really unfortunate, but like I said, if anyone can get up there, he is one of them that can. So we'll see how that plays out for him. Still quite a long race, so I'm not too worried. Matt O'Brien, where did Joel? Did he go back onto pit road? Yeah, he is on pit road. Matt O'Brien going to lead us off to green. Ryan Crooks in 2nd. Jacob Kerr moving out here to the 3rd spot. Doc Holliday in 4th. And Tom Flitcroft, he's going to round out the top 5. This is going to be a wild restart, J-Mac.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild race.
I think you're right.
Yeah, we see O'Brien. Crooks really quick at the beginning of these runs, but it really seemed like he used his tires up a little bit quicker. Maybe was pushing the car a little bit too hard there, and had an issue getting tight. The 20 of Jacob Kerr, didn't see him that first run, but there he is in 3rd now in a position, as well as the 8 of Tom Flitcroft. Gonna be interesting to see that 88 of Doc Holliday. I think he was eliminated from the playoffs. He's going to be driving like he has something to prove as they go green to 17, getting a big run, and the 25 and the 20 almost hitting each other as they cross the start-finish line.
Oh, they definitely made some contact, but Matt O'Brien out to the lead. Jacob Kerr in 2nd. Ryan Crook's going to fall back to 4th with Bud Shear. He's out there in 5th. What are you seeing, J-Mac?
Oh, I saw the 8 wiggling, and that's a sight that we've seen a few times this season on opening laps of runs. And yeah, the 88 gets loose. Very loose. Not sure if there was contact between himself and the 9 of Andrew Wisdom or if he got loose on his own. But nice save from Doc Holliday.
Quite the group right here that he's involved as they are 3 wide. John Honeycutt trying to go up the track. Clears himself over Doc Holliday. These guys are still on the move. John Honeycutt going up to P9, so he is in the top 10. He's got Adam Rowe directly behind him. Jamie Haynes in 11th in that number 53 car. I want to take a look at the front. Matt O'Brien still out front. Jacob Kerr in 2nd. These guys are going to start really battling it out here with Ryan Crooks. He looks like he is a man on a mission, ready to pounce on any opportunity he can to take over that 2nd spot.
Just to clean up that near spin by the 88, there was no contact between himself and the 9. He got loose on his own. But meanwhile, up at the lead, it is the 17 of Matthew O'Brien, leading them through turns 3 and 4. The 20 of Jacob Kerr, 1 car length back. They go down the front straight, the 17, going down to the apron, and that apron is definitely a lot faster. I feel like you should maybe save a minuscule amount of tire running on the banking through the front straight, but I don't know if it's enough to mean anything. And watching some experienced drivers stay pretty committed to running the apron as often as they can, I imagine that it doesn't really mean anything. But I don't like going down there if I don't really have to. But right now, it seems like everybody wants to go down there.
On board with Tom Splitcraft, who is currently sitting P6, and you can just see the banking at Kansas. These guys are all over the place. This is what I love about this. You have some guys on the low side, Tom Splitcraft, who is driving in the middle, and we have some guys on the high side. It's all about what you're comfortable with. But as Jordan says, if you're riding that high side and you're digging down in the tri-oval below the apron, you're gonna wear the tires down. And these guys, they're just in let's go mode. They are using up every part of the track to try to get the positions that they need. I'm curious how it's gonna play out in the long run, but I gotta hold on and say a huge shout out to chat once again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Suave, I hear that. I hear that. Got the Titanic going. And Cookie Mon, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome.
Battle for the lead here. The 9 of Andrew Wisdom has been able to work his way up through the field after that incident. Again, no faster pair remaining on that car, but he is still being aggressive enough to go out there, take the lead away from the 17 of Matthew O'Brien. He's going to slide up in front of him. O'Brien, will he try the crossover? Will he give him a little push? He'll give him a little push as they go down the back straight, going down into turns 3 and 4. The 9 of Wisdom running a little lower of a line there, kind of out of where that banking kind of kicks up that last little bit, the progressive banking around these corners here at Kansas Speedway. A little bit more to work with there near the wall, but Wisdom running a little bit beneath that through 3 and 4, and 1 and 2. He's running right on that topmost white dotted line. They head down the back straight, single file, all of them barreling down into turn 3 now.
These guys nose to tail. Take a look at this. Ryan Crooks on board cam. He is sitting P3 at the moment for the Hi-Tek Security Services in-car cam. Really great view. I love this. This is actually brought by John Honeycutt. And he's like, I want this view in there. He's like, I love this view. So riding on board with him as Ryan Crooks goes on the inside of Matt O'Brien, touching that quarter panel. Very, very close racing out here. Let's take a look and see what these guys are doing. But man, oh man, Ryan Crooks, he is not a playoff driver, but I'll tell you what, he is racing like he is one. These guys getting super loose as he is on the back bumper. Meanwhile, we got Jacob Kerr on the inside, making it too wide between him and his teammate Tom Splitcraft.
Yeah, Crooks has been able to make a lot of progress making that move, getting that one car width lower than the one beneath him, riding that left rear and completing a pass. Not able to do it that time on Matthew O'Brien, but here he is closing back to within a half a car length of that rear bumper. Will he try that again? Oh, the 17. Ooh, he got a little bit tight. Also looked like whoever that car is, that last car in this line, that's a 93 of Bud Shearer, he might have caught the wall or barely missed it exiting turn 4. But here comes the 25. He's a half a car width lower. The 20 and the 8, the 93, they all follow him down there. But meanwhile, the 17 and the 9, they continue to be 1-2, ripping the wall here at Kansas.
This is crazy. This race is absolutely crazy. I'm loving it. The racing between these guys is phenomenal. They're doing such a great job tonight. That grip is really helping out. We've seen one caution, knock on wood. Lap 30 of 115. So much going on here tonight. Let's take another look at the playoff standings. Hunter Johnson, our current leader, who is sitting P11 at the moment. Wisdom, who is sitting in the lead. He is +8 above the cutoff with Matt O'Brien. He's in second. He is 7 to the good with Jamie Haynes. Let's try to find Jamie Haynes here. He is currently sitting P14. The guys that are under the cutoff, Honeycutt, who is sitting 8th. We have Cole Snyder, who we haven't seen much of him out here up front, but I guarantee we'll see him. He's sitting directly behind Honeycutt in 9th. Christopher Fathke, let's take a look at him. He is sitting P25 with Sean Burke directly in front of him in 24th. So that are your top 8 playoff drivers. Sean Burke, a lot of damage out there. Man, oh man.
Yeah, that car's hurt. And when you look at the points, he's a driver that absolutely needs to win. As far back as he is, he seems to be in a must-win position. And right now, with a damaged front end, lap 32 of this race, riding around in 24th. Not the start that he was looking for, and there's a wreck here in the back, and yeah, looks like the 18 and maybe the 15 and the 88 got together.
Let's see if we can take a look at what happened. And thank you guys so much for the compliment in chat. Electrum, what's up? Trading Pain, thank you. Savage,
wow.
what's up? It's not
Yeah,
showing
looks like-
me.
Yeah, look, the 88 got the apron through 1 and 2 and slid up into the 15. The 88 didn't sound very happy with Adam Rowe there, but yeah, the 88 slid up into him. The 15 almost had it, and then finally lost it and slipped down into him. The 91 also getting some damage in that of Sean Blanchard.
Oh.
Those three
Yeah.
pretty heavily involved. And also, a big hit for the 24 of Dakota Kramer as well.
Really unfortunate to see on that. It looked like possibly John Holiday hitting the apron there, going up the track a little bit, and the car above him going down. Definitely making some contact.
Yeah.
These guys are going to have to use some fast repair if they haven't already. But these guys are on pit road for their second stop.
Yeah, it didn't really look like the 15 came down. that was all the 88 hitting the apron, sliding up into him.
Oh yeah.
That was almost a good save by the 15, but just not quite able to reel it in, and from there it was on.
Let's see how these guys come out. It's going to be a mad dash off of pit road. Ryan Crooks decides to stay out. Very interesting call on his end.
That's a very curious move that I do not like.
I'm curious if we're going to see him go in. We've seen that a couple of times already. We had Joel Conley. He stayed out and then went in the second time around. So we'll see what happens with these guys. I want to take a look at their stint length. We have Ryan Crooks, who is, Joel Conley's on about 16 lap run here. Ryan Crooks is with everyone else with an 18 lap run. I want to know his strategy.
I do too, and this is actually hurting Thomas Harmon. Harmon 3 laps down currently. He's wanting to try to take advantage of the waiver round, but he's not going to be able to if that 25 stays out there. So this really hurting him. Now he has a decision to make. Does he pit here, or does he wait it out and hope the 25 pit? It looks like he is going to come out. Looks like he's going to stay, or go in, I mean, not come out. That's what I'm saying.
I knew what you meant. Joel Conley going in. Andrew Wisdom, he's going to be lining up second. Matt O'Brien in third. Jacob Kerr coming out in fourth. Tom Flitcroft in fifth. Bud Shear in sixth. John Honeycutt in seventh. Cole Snyder, who we were just talking about, he's going to be P8. Hunter Johnson in ninth. And Enrique Quinones, who we have not talked about tonight. He's sitting here in the top 10.
Yep, he's worked his way into the top 10. Conley came to pit road. Jose Ruiz started near the front, kind of fell back a little bit early, but he is currently going to be in that 11th spot. Jamie Haynes, one of our playoff drivers, currently the last one in, need to get a little bit further toward the front. He is currently in that 12th spot, but I am really not liking this move by the 25. This is going to be an interesting start here. An interesting first few laps. If it goes green, I don't know. I just don't see that car being able to maintain track position.
You know, if he was in the chat for over the radio, I would definitely get him in here because I'm curious too. I want to know what's up with him. J Ray says, "Be nice not to be around one wreck." Oh man, Jamie, so sorry to hear that. Kool-Aid says, "I just missed my pit stall. Nothing planned, but here."
Oh, there we go. Hey, bingo!
No.
Joe called me Mr. I feel like a bad person now.
I can't even.
If he didn't constantly rag on me for constantly missing my pit stalls in the Wednesday night races, I would probably not say anything.
I mean, let's not talk about the Wednesday race where I was out front so much during that race. Did not pit with everyone on the final pit stop. And I had to start from the back because I decided to pit on the second time around.
When we were side by side for the lead and you body checked me into oblivion. I remember that.
You know, and I replayed that and I never saw.
It was net code. I was there. There was about a quarter of a car between us, and then it was like my left front tire blew.
Bananas. Yeah, I had no clue we even touched. But Ryan Crook's gonna lead us off back to green. Andrew Wisdom on that high side, and that number 9, Matt O'Brien in third. Another playoff driver. Those guys will be in purple. They're in second and third. Jacob Kerr in fourth. We'll see what these guys can do, but man, I'm getting nervous. I'm getting excited. Lap 36 of 115, and we're getting ready to go back to green for Hi-Tek Security Services 115 at Kansas Motor Speedway.
25 gets a good launch there. I was a little worried about when wheel spin, but I think there's enough grip in the racetrack, and the tires aren't falling off that much. That it didn't seem to be too much of a problem for him. They're going to head through 1 and 2, and the 17 is going to have a massive run. The 25 is going to try to block the inside, but the 17 and the 9 easily going to be able to make that pass around the outside lane. Now we'll see what they can do. The 17 tries to clear himself and get down to the bottom lane. The 9 continues to send it around that outside. He will be up top with the 17 of O'Brien. So Wisdom will, I believe, lead that lap. I think so. Yes, he led that lap by 0.000 seconds. So that's about as tight as it gets, folks. But no, O'Brien led the lap.
Can you imagine if that was a photo finish? Absolutely wild. That's what I love about this. In Kansas, the momentum coming off the high side, it is insane. But Andrew Wisdom out here in the lead. Matt O'Brien in second. John Honeycutt moving up to third with Hunter Johnson in fourth. Thomas Splitcraft in fifth here. So absolutely crazy. Savage, thank you guys for tuning in. Jinx, C. Rambo, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. I hope you're enjoying the race. It is wild out here. A playoff race, a ton on the line, as next week we are headed to Martinsville, and that is the cutoff race to the Final Four for the championship. I would not miss that one. Definitely not.
Honeycutt on the inside of O'Brien trying to take that lead. Using the apron has a nice push from the 32 of Hunter Johnson, who has rebounded from that penalty earlier on in the race. They're going to head off into the 50. Clears himself. The 17 crosses him over down the back straight. They're going to head down into turn 3 side by side. O'Brien going to try to use that shorter way around. He's going to get a little deep, slide up the track about a half a car, or about a full car width, and ended up getting loose because he had so much wheel into it. The 32 of Hunter Johnson able to make that pass now. O'Brien under fire from the 8 of Flitcroft as they go through 1 and 2.
Absolutely insane. These guys so close. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, the 17's out, completely out of rhythm there. That was a rough lap for him. The 10 gave him a bit of a break there as they head through 3 and 4, but he's going to slide up behind the 20 of Jacob Kerr. But O'Brien was in 4th. He fell all the way back to the 6th spot over the course of that lap. Fell from 2nd to 6th over the course of a couple of laps. And now he's going to try to make his way back up through the field here. But the 3 FTR cars currently in 2nd, 4th, and 5th as we work lap 42 of 115.
You know, the FTR drivers have had a great run the past several races, and 3 wide.
They're trying to get 3 wide.
They are definitely trying. Kansas is a place where that can easily happen, so very interesting to see. Cal Racing, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Are any of these drivers running the 2500 MWP 200 in November? I don't know. I really don't know. Matt, what's up? He says, hey guys, hope you're doing well. Andrew Wisdom has a nice lead out here. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, he's running some hot laps around that outside lane. It doesn't really sound like that car has lifted at all. He is trying to get free of this pack. This pack really racing hard, and again, him and the 32 have had some issues. Him and the 50 have had some issues. So I think he's just trying to get away from those guys. Whether he's mad at them, whether they're mad at him, the 50 gets a little bit tight. Maybe reacting to the 32, getting to his outside almost. They gave each other a good break there, and were able to avoid any incident. But again, the 50 sliding up in front of the 32. Looks like Hunter Johnson desperately trying to find his way around the 50 of the John Honeycutt.
I want to go on board with Hunter Johnson. Take a look at this. Hunter Johnson all over the back bumper of that Melody Woodworks number 50 car. Absolutely insane, but take a look who's in front of him. Andrew Wisdom is over half a second ahead of these guys, but not for long. He's already taking that gap away. Hunter Johnson gonna dive down low, see what he can do. Possibly a slide job. He's not gonna be able to clear him. Gonna dive down into that tri-oval with Honeycutt on the outside. These guys still very close. Honeycutt disappearing out here. Really scary to see. If you are around him, he's gonna fall back just a little bit.
Yeah, Wisdom this last lap around was straddling that top white dotted line. Look, maybe trying to get a little bit of a hook from that decreased banking that's a little bit lower there. Now he runs a little higher, slides down the racetrack through the center, then back up to the wall on exit. Abe's still able to maintain that lead, and again, I think he sees how hard these guys are racing behind him, and that's kind of prompted him to try to set sail. He'll here run as hard as he can. As the 50 continues to have some connection issues, we'll see how that, if that resolves itself as this run goes along, or if this is going to be something where he has to drop to the back again. That is one of our playoff drivers he's currently the first driver out of the playoffs, so he needs every point he can. He can't afford to go to the back, but he may have to if that issue continues. Meanwhile, Wisdom continues to lead with Hunter Johnson closing in.
Yeah, Hunter Johnson in second, Andrew Wisdom leading, and I'm hearing all this stuff, man. You guys, thank you so much for the host. I'm hearing a lot of Titanic flute. You guys are cracking me up with that. Cape, what's up? How are you? Hope you guys are doing good. These guys are wild tonight. It's almost like they're in a playoff race, racing for everything that they can to try to get in the final four. They are bringing it all tonight. Extremely close. Let's take a look at the playoff standings. Hunter Johnson, our leader in the playoff standings. He's currently sitting P2. Wisdom in the lead at the moment. O'Brien, he is sitting, looks like P4 with Jamie Haynes. Not the greatest night for him. I'm trying to take a look. Jordan, you might have to, oh, there he is. P12. So he's got a little bit of work to do, but Honeycutt, who is on the outside looking in, sitting P3, so that is definitely helping. Cole Snyder in 5th, and Christopher Fafke, he is out sitting in 22nd with Sean Burke. He's going to be sitting in 24th.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these races get real crazy at the end. If you're there, if you're on the lead lap and with decent track position, you still have a good shot at getting a good finish. You just have to stay there and try to keep the car clean. And again, maintain fast repairs. Again, I've mentioned this multiple times, probably to the point of being annoying, but the 9 and the 50 had to use those early on in this race, currently running first and third. So those two drivers in a very precarious position where they have to be very careful. The 32 of Hunter Johnson, he still has a fast repair, and he is locked into the championship finale as a championship contender. So he has nothing to lose here. So you have to wonder if Wisdom taking that into account, or will he race him as hard as he can to try to maintain this lead here on lap 51. Johnson going to try to attack the 9 of Wisdom using that bottom lane if they head down the front straight here.
Yeah, he's going to try to take everything that he can. It's going to be super close. NASCAR Blood, thank you so much. What's up? How are you? Cape, you guys, oh my goodness. If you guys are doing well and enjoying the race, Cape, thank you so much for the biddies. I appreciate it. They have most certainly caught up to Wisdom. Johnson trying to make a run for it. We'll see when he is able to do it, but he is definitely pushing that car as we are on lap 52 of 115. These guys just single file throughout the field now as we're in for a long run here. Jose Ruiz in 8th. We have Byron Jones in 9th. Bud Shear in 10th. Samuel Harrell in 11th. Jamie Haynes in 12th. And Dakota Kramer, he's going to be in 13th.
Yeah, Enrique Quinones in 14th. Sean Blanchard, Jorge Rincon 15th and 16th. Ryan Crooks, our pole sitter, he has fallen back to the 17th position. Remember, on this restart, he did not take tires. He did not come into pit road, so he's going to be at a deficit both on fuel as well as the tire. That strategy call has not worked out for him so far. The 15 of Adam Rowe, he is 18th. Douglas King 19th. Austin Collins 20th. Doc Holliday, not the night he was looking for. He is in 21st. Mike Bain 22nd. Christopher Fathke 23rd, Sean Burke 24th, and those are all of the cars currently on the lead lap, with Robert Reynolds, the first car, 1 lap down, in 25th.
Thomas Harmon, he is, it looks like he is about 3 laps down. Joel Conley and Charlie Mosley Jr. are DNF here. So Andrew Wisdom still in the lead, but man, oh man, Hunter Johnson is on the move. You see him get a little wiggly coming out of that exit there. These guys are starting to get a little bit loose. Hunter Johnson just pushing his car to the limit. He's going to try to take a peek on the inside, unable to hold it off. And you guys, if you recall, these two have had run-ins with each other. We'll see what happens with it. We saw it last week, so I'm curious to see what we're going to see here at Kansas. You got those slide jobs. Anything is possible, so we'll see what happens.
And oh, the 32 got tight. Had to back out of it a little bit, crank a little bit of wheel into it. That's going to allow the 9 of Andrew Wisdom to pull away. But that's the move we've seen work. When we think of Kansas, we think of Chicago. We think of these kind of tracks where the lane moves up at the top and you have to send it in there. You think of the slide job, but the passes that we've seen, especially for the lead, have been that run behind him, and then sneak underneath that quarter panel midway through the corner. The 32 got into the corner too hot there, got into the wall. That is going to hurt him throughout this run. So a big mistake out of Hunter Johnson, and that's going to be a huge break for Andrew Wisdom, who is desperately wanting to maintain this lead.
Mr. Beth, thank you so much for the biddies. Hall, thank you so much for the biddies. I appreciate it. You guys are wild out there. Man, a lot of activity. I am absolutely loving it. I'm gonna have to remember how to do the redeem lug nuts. I gotta get my notes out here, but man, Wisdom still in the lead on this long run. I want to take a look at the stint length that these guys have had. The longest stint so far here tonight, they're at 24 laps. The second longest was the last stint at 18. We'll see how these guys can how they round out here and how they deal with the tire wear, but so far they are looking pretty good. We have the top 4 making the run here in this front pack. Behind them, they have, well, Matt O'Brien is right there too. Cole Snyder is going to be leading that second pack out there. Unless he's, yeah. Thomas Splitcraft and that Jose Ruiz. And then we have Jacob Kerr. Kind of spreading out there, Jordan, on this long run.
Yeah, I mean, the line is definitely, the 9 got a little bit goofy off of the corner. I think he kept it out of the wall, but it was a lot of movement out of the rear end of that machine coming off of turn 4. But the line has definitely moved to the outside. It's become incredibly hard to pass. The cars have become really annoying to drive at this point. They probably really tightened up with the grip in the track, and with these drivers using the high line, they have probably torn up that right front tire pretty well by this point in the run. So I think a lot of these drivers are just trying to maintain track position, defend. And the best way to defend is to keep it up there on the high line and make it really, really difficult for a driver to get underneath them and be able to power down off the corner. But the 32 of Hunter Johnson, after that mistake a few laps ago, has cooled his stuff down and back on the attack toward the 9 of Andrew Wisdom. And we'll see what kind of move he tried. We mentioned the slide job, but I was alluding to earlier before he hit the wall, the move that we've kind of seen a few times has been you work to their left rear and then kind of almost side draft them and work underneath them through the corner, and then try to get that run down the back straight, then beat them down into the next turn to complete that pass. We'll see what the 32 here does as he looks a lane beneath the 9. The 9 way up at the wall. I think he saw that coming, wanted to give him as much room as he could. He'll have the run off the corner, though. Hunter Johnson falls back another car length as they get ready to head into turn 4. We're at lap 62 of 115, so we're well past halfway, nearing 50 to go here in this event tonight. This thing is flying by.
Matt O'Brien, our patient driver, sitting back here in P4, just letting these guys kind of use up their tires, see what they can do, and when he can, he's going to make his move and pounce on it, let these guys use it all up. But he is in the Melody Woodworks cam, and these guys, Melody Woodworking, specializing in cutting boards, cheese boards, and spoons. So make sure to give them a visit if you can. Thank you so much for sponsoring, but these guys still on the move out here. Pretty wild to see, but Matt O'Brien, we always talk about him being our patient one. being the one to save the tires, and then all of a sudden he just sneaks out front. So I'm curious, is that the way we're gonna see here tonight at Kansas?
I think 32 might be losing a little bit of confidence in that race car. It looked like he was about to slide up into the turn 4 wall and really cut it hard. I think he was going to make the corner regardless, but he put a lot of wheel into it. Oh, he's getting loose there. That's a move that I've seen. Oh, the 9 hits the wall really hard. He loses it off the corner, is able to save it through the grass, but there is a lot of damage to the right side of that car. Hunter Johnson will take the lead, but the story here is the 9 of Andrew Wisdom, who has been one of the dominant drivers of the season, if not the most dominant driver. Again, now he is in a major hole with some pretty significant damage to that race car, and the only way he can repair it is with a yellow.
Really, really unfortunate to see, but I'll tell you what a save for Andrew Wisdom. He hit hard on there. You can see the damage on that right front that is really going to affect his car, possibly how his tire is holding up. So, man, so hard to see that happen, but our top 4 guys are in the playoffs here, so we'll see what they can do. Andrew Wisdom falls back, but he's going to stay P4. Hunter Johnson is our new leader. Kool-Aid says that's a rare mistake, and I'll tell you what, he's right. You don't see a lot of mistakes from Andrew Wisdom, so you know he is not happy right now.
Yeah, he was he's been one of the first to move up to that outside lane every run, and he was driving really hard to start that run off, and he's been running really hard in the lead of this pack. So I think he wore out that right front maybe a little more than he was expecting, but it's just so easier. That turn 4 wall can come at you really fast. I think it's definitely better and easier to run that outside lane in 3 and 4, but it's a little bit easier to make a mistake there as well. And that turn 4 wall, it'll come at you if you don't have the right line just by a little bit. And the 9 found that out, but he's been able to maintain with these guys. I really feel like that was going to kill the performance of that race car, that damage that he took, but he's been able to maintain on top of that excellent save. A really fantastic job, but as this run continues on, the performance of that race car is just going to continue to get worse and worse, and I'm not fully confident he's going to be able to hang on with this front 3, but if there's a driver that can pull it off, it's him.
These guys, I was talking to them before the race, some extremely worried how their race was going to go here tonight. With our top 4 guys in the playoffs, those guys are looking pretty darn strong here so far. Hunter Johnson in the lead. We're going to have John Honeycutt in second. I'm going to go down through these guys. We have Matt O'Brien in third. Andrew Wisdom, who we saw hit the wall, he's still holding on, but barely, as he is sitting P4th. Meanwhile, Thomas Splitcraft is leading the second pack in P5 with Jose Ruiz, his teammate, in 6th, and another FTR teammate, Jacob Kerr, in 7th. These guys having a solid run. Cole Snyder kind of on his own island out here, another playoff driver. He's sitting P8 at the moment. Enrique Quinones, his teammate there, he's going to be in 9th with Dakota Kramer in 10th. Jamie Haynes in that number 53 is going to be 11th with Byron Jones in 12th. Adam Rowe in 13th, Jorge Rincon in 14th, and Samuel Harrell, who we saw have a little mishap in early. He is in 15th with Sean Blanchard. He's going to be right there in 16th.
Hearing some drivers are going to head to pit road, and another thing to note here, the 223 of Sean Burke, our 8th driver in the playoffs. He has gone a lap down now, sitting in the 21st position. So definitely looking like, unless he gets a quick yellow here so he can fix his car, definitely looking like next week at Martinsville is going to be a must-win for him to be able to compete for the championship when the series goes to Phoenix.
On board with Matt O'Brien, currently sitting P3. These guys have done a pretty big stint here. I want to take a look. They're on 39 laps. You know that they are feeling it right now. Definitely the longest that we've seen by over twice as much. So you know that the tires are screaming. We saw it with Andrew Wisdom, and it's going to be something else. These guys will be coming in shortly, as what Jordan says. We'll see how they make it onto pit road.
Yeah, I see somebody peeling off there to head to pit road. This is about the point where you can split this run in half between the green flag for the restart and the checkered flag. So this is going to be that mark where these drivers are going to come in, the 32, using straddling that line. And that's something that I was going to talk earlier about, but something happened and my brain went in a different direction. Might have been the 9 hitting the wall or something. Oh, the 50. Oh, he really had to check up, really got tight to the center of 3 and 4. But a line that I have not really seen and wasn't expecting, but that seems to have worked, is a lot of these drivers are straddling that white dotted line that's about where the transition in the banking is, and that seems to be helping these cars hook through the corner. You can see the 32, he gets down there in that small transition, and that seems to be helping these cars hook through the corner and help maintain some grip as these tires continue to fall off. But again, we're in the pit window here where you can split this in half. I think this is just a big cat and mouse game for who comes in first amongst all these drivers. You don't want to come in too early because then you won't have any tire to end the race, but you don't want to wait too long or else those drivers are going to gap you. So once you see one of these guys come to pit road, I imagine the other two are going to come in immediately.
Cape is doing a 50 bits to Frozen Toes. We'll get a clue to the trivia question. Doing a giveaway here. Any guesses? Make sure you get it in. It's almost to the time limit here of 9:32. Cape, what are you up to? Fabia rooting out here for John Honeycutt. And these guys, we have Chris Fathke coming out on track in that number 27, separating him and John Honeycutt. John Honeycutt sitting P2, doing a phenomenal job. And I'll tell you what, he was one that was very nervous for the race. How was he going to do? He was not very confident, but I'll tell you what, he's doing a great job out there. Car matching the cam. Melody Woodworks cam out here. Thank you so much for the sponsorship. Playoffs are wild. Martinsville's going to be even more wild. I'm excited, Jordan, but as a team owner, I'm a little nervous. Not gonna lie.
I mean, the only thing to be nervous about right now would be a mistake or something of that nature, which is possible. It looks like the 50 is about to come in. He's calling it out and moving down low. The 9, from the sound of things, is also going to come out. What will the 9 strategy be here? The 32 coming in as well. The 17 is going to go at least one more lap. Hunter Johnson getting in there really deep. The 50 gets woed down really well. The 9 gets onto pit road pretty hard. A lot of our drivers coming to pit road here. The 8, as well as I believe the 29 might be on pit road as well as the 20.
Yeah, about 9 guys on pit road. Team FTR is out on pit road. Andrew Wisdom. We have Hunter Johnson, Dakota Kramer. A lot of fellas out there, but that is going to make a new leader for Matt O'Brien. Curious if he is going to come. Yep, here he comes on to pit road. You can see his car arching a little bit as he got on there. Didn't know if on the brakes quite a bit. Made him a little loose. Cole Snyder, Enrique Quinones, teammates coming on to pit road. Jamie Haynes stays out in that number 53. He will be the new leader. Cape says the answer, 2007 in the ARCA series. I'll be honest, I don't even know the question. Yensa, what's up? How are you? You're gonna say it, Suave? Oh my goodness. See Rambo. Shouting out to the hall out there.
Yeah, amongst our drivers that came to pit road, the 32 won the race off of pit road, and the 50 was second with the 9 of Andrew Wisdom. He came off third. The 32 clipped the grass going through the front straight there, but the 9 of Wisdom didn't look like he opted to repair some damage, so we'll see how that car acts as it goes forward. They have the 88 of Doc Holliday with them as well. He is currently 1 lap down, and I believe he might be on fresh tires. Maybe he got a penalty. Maybe he fell back. I'm not really sure, but he is keeping pace pretty well with our front 3 as they continue to work laps here and try to work through this pit cycle.
Our leader, Jamie Haynes, goes on to pit road. Chris Fathke tries to make it on pit road, but I do believe he missed the cone. Maybe Jordan can verify that for me, but Hunter Johnson back up to the lead. Ryan Crooks in second, and these guys are already having quite the battle. John Honeycutt going to be in third. Andrew Wisdom in fourth.
He did miss the cone by a fair amount there, so the 27 is going to have to come back to pit road at some point. And I believe the 25 still has not pit since staying out late on that previous run. So again, that strategy not working out to its best, or maybe he came in early. I'm not really sure. Let's go look at the old lap times and see if he has one that stands out. Yeah, he came in earlier than these drivers, so he is on about 10 lap older tires than the rest of the field as they're working by him right now.
Stratus gifting a sub to Spring Rock. Thank you so much. 62 gifted subs. That's insane. Thank you so much. Man, the 223 of Sean Burke's extremely close to the 32 of Hunter Johnson. Wow, what a race there. The 9 and the 223. Sean Burke in the wrong place at the wrong time, I'll tell you what. But making his way, trying to give space to these guys as they're trying to race around him. But Hunter Johnson still out in the lead. Quite the pack that we have here. Matt O'Brien in fourth, and he is just trying to hold on to that draft of Sean Burke and make his way to that front.
Yeah, O'Brien's having to work really hard. The 32 running that bottom lane, probably not having to work, definitely having to work the least hard out of all of our front drivers. You can see the 9, he's going down to the bottom. I imagine that car is going to run the white line as long as it can to try to save as much right front tire as it can. The 50 running a lane lower as they're all kind of trying to keep out of each other's air there, but the 32 using that run off the corner and to able to gap the 50 of Honeycutt. And right now Johnson continuing to lead this race and starting to leg it out. The 17 having to work really hard to get back up to this front pack. He works his way around the 88 of Doc Holliday, the first car 1 lap down. Also in this pack is the 223 of Sean Burke, who is, again, a playoff driver, desperately hoping they can get a quick yellow here.
We're on board with Hunter Johnson, our leader, who is making his way around lap cars. You can see these guys. He is just running that low line right on that white line, trying to make his way through. Look at his steering wheel, though, you guys. To go straight, he is literally steering it to the left. Pretty wild out here. Yensa, you have missed a lot. Fabia says you got this, number 50. He's still out here in second doing a phenomenal job. Hunter running into some traffic here as he's going to have to go high around the 97. 97 is Douglas King in that pretty cool paint scheme he's got there.
Yep, nice old school comic book looking Batman car, and I will not do the voice I was doing in the pre-race when no one could hear. But yeah, the 97, he now goes a lap down. So 19 cars currently on the lead lap. Jorge Riedencone in ninth is 23.5 seconds behind our leader. And following is the 32 of Hunter Johnson. Continues to put down some pretty hefty laps. The 17 of Matthew O'Brien, he works his way around the 50 of John Honeycutt, so he is trying to march forward, trying to battle, trying to see if he can run down this 32 of Hunter Johnson and battle him for the win. But he's got some work to do as the laps are ticking away, and the harder he has to drive, the worse those tires are going to feel. But he has a lap old newer tires. That's the one advantage that he has. He has a little bit in the bank to be able to work a little bit harder.
Oh, thank you so much for the biddies. 250. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hunter Johnson still out here leading the way. O'Brien almost a second back. He's got John Honeycutt about a second back from Hunter Johnson here. So these guys still close. Andrew Wisdom. Ah, man. Heartbroken for this guy. He's still got the damage on the right front, unable to repair it all as he has used. Did he use his fast repair, or does he still have one?
He used it in that early wreck
Yeah.
that happened on like lap 5 or so, or 10, or whenever it was, or 15, whenever it was, when him and the 50 got together. So that is that's he's going to be carrying that damage for the rest of the race. You know, barring what he can repair on pit road if we get a yellow flag and he takes that opportunity to do so. But right now he is he's 2.5, he's 2 seconds ahead of Tom Flitcroft in 5th, and he's got 8.5 seconds on 8th place. So he, even if he falls back, even if that car, you know, starts to fall away from him, it's not going to fall away enough. He has enough track position that he can still maintain a decent points night and salvage what he can to give himself a really good shot at moving on at Martinsville. He had all those points, all those playoff points from how he performed in the regular season. So he has all that in the bank. And again, all he has to do is just not make any more mistakes, maintain, and he should be fine and be able to put himself in a good spot.
Johnson still almost over half a second ahead of second place of Matt O'Brien. These guys are really starting to spread out. Honeycutt almost a second, so quite a bit of space as pit road. These guys went on to pit road, came back out. That usually does spread things out. Tom Flitcroft in 5th, though. Jose Ruiz in 6th. Jacob Kerr in 7th. And as Jordan said, Ryan Crooks in 8th, and none of these guys are playoff drivers, so that is going to keep these guys a little bit safe that are up front, especially Andrew Wisdom. Dakota Kramer in that 24, he's going to be 9th, and Cole Snyder, who is a playoff driver, he is going to round out the top 10.
Yeah, and the way it's looking, if the race ended now, which obviously it's not, and a lot can happen in these final 20 laps, final 21, 22 laps, however long we have left in this race as the laps are ticking away. But by my math, Honeycutt would be in the transfer spot by how many points did I say it was? I think I said 9 points in my head over Jamie Haynes with the track position that he has currently. So that's how that would all cycle over. Wisdom had a 5-point gap on Haynes coming into this race, and he is currently 9 positions ahead, so that would be in theory 9 points right there, plus Wisdom has led a lap, so that should be 10 points. So that's going to, those drivers are working their way in, and it's looking like the cutoff is already going to be a position where you have to win the race, just with the gaps that some of these drivers are getting. We kind of have, you know, the set 10 or so drivers that we kind of expect to be at the front every week, 10 to 15, and so it's going to be real tough to make up positions on this final group of 8 on points alone. And it's looking like whoever goes into Martinsville and are in our bottom 4 in the playoff standings, each of those drivers likely going to have to win the race if they want to compete for a championship here in PSES.
Jamie Haynes in the 13th spot. We were just talking about him. Suave says, poor Haynes. I know, I'm heartbroken for him. Man, it is tough out there. Still one more race, though, left to try to get as many points as you can here. And Cape, another trivia question out there for a giveaway, but Hunter Johnson has still led all these laps, still out in the lead currently. Matt O'Brien in 2nd, John Honeycutt in 3rd, and a huge gap between them and Andrew Wisdom. He's definitely falling back from that damage, and man, I'm heartbroken for him too. You can see it's such a clean race tonight, which when you have incidents like that where you hit the wall and it's not obviously going to bring out a caution, that's definitely going to hurt your chances for the win, and I know he really wants it with 18 to go.
Yeah, and another driver that we haven't really mentioned all night long, Cole Snyder, holding on to that 10th spot. Final car inside the top 10, a little bit of damage on that right side, but having a solid evening, but still looks like he is going to lose ground on the cutoff. He came in 6 points behind the cutoff, and while he is ahead of Jamie Haynes, John Honeycutt running in third is going to move that number around pretty significantly, and he's going to come in a little bit deeper than that gap he came in with. So again, you got to be really, really good to great if you want to move on to the finale at Phoenix and win yourself a championship.
On board with John Honeycutt, the Hi-Tek Security Services in-car cam, and he is sitting P3. You can see his view. These guys are holding up on the high side. You can see him get a little loose coming off corner exit, and there's a lot of lap cars ahead, so these guys are going to have to maneuver around the 93 just with those fresh tires, man. Just rounding out on that inside as these guys are trying to make their way around track. Hunter Johnson hanging up high, trying to get that draft. It's going to be so close, Jordan.
Yeah, there's going to be a race here. The 17. Oh, the 32 gets a little bit slick, and that's the line that you cross there, running that line. The 32 with a huge block on the 17. The 17 able to continue onward. He's going to send it down into turn 3. The 32 going to dive it in there. Not going to be able to stay along with the 17. Slide up. He'll try to. He is not clear. He is not clear. They both get the wall. The 17 hangs on to it. The 32 hangs on to it, but both of those two cars are damaged. John Honeycutt takes the lead as they continue onward. And wow, what a change of events.
Hunter Johnson with a ton of damage on the front of his car. John Honeycutt in the lead, just taking full advantage of what just happened in front of him. I can't even believe what just happened. Matt O'Brien, he's going to fall back to third. I don't know if he got loose or decided, hey, you know, I kind of messed up there. I'm going to give it.
He licked the stamp and sent it, and he was going to clear himself, and he just wasn't. The 32 was not going to back off and let him. He was clear for a split second, and the 32 just didn't let up. And that's not his job to let up. It's his job to win races. It's the 17's job to win races. But right there, it's just two drivers going for it all, coming together there. At the end of the day, it is the 17 putting the 32 in the wall. So if you fault anybody, it's on Matthew O'Brien. But still, I don't think John Honeycutt cares whose fault that was. He is now setting sail on the rest of the field. I'm sure he is excited in that race car, but he still has to navigate 12 more laps around this racetrack mistake-free.
You know, 12 more laps. That is a lot of laps to have something happen. And take a look at these guys racing side by side once again. And that is going to help John Honeycutt as he is in the lead. The 17 really sending it as he is going by Mr. Hunter Johnson. So we'll see these guys battle it up. That is a wounded number 32 car.
Yeah, the 32 definitely made out worse than the 17 did in that transaction. Again, just holding his line. The 17 licked the stamp, and bad things happened from there. But still, those two well ahead of Andrew Wisdom in fourth place. It was now about to fall into the clutches of the 9 of Thomas Splitcraft. How hard will he battle the 8 machine, or will he let him go, or not let him go, but make it easy enough? You can race hard without the blocking and stuff, or does Wisdom value this point enough, which is perfectly within his right? Does he value this point enough to do everything he can to try to keep that 8 machine behind him? That's going to be a small story to watch as this race unfolds. But meanwhile, John Honeycutt continuing to leg it out on the rest of the competition as the laps continue to wind down.
Braves, what's up? This is a crazy race, 9 to go. And I'll tell you what, in that last corner, Honeycutt put another 2/10 on Matt O'Brien. I'm pretty sure Matt O'Brien has a little bit of damage from that contact. Not as much as Hunter, I think, but man, that is definitely helping John Honeycutt. All he has to do is keep himself clean, keep himself off of the wall, and keep Matt O'Brien behind him, and he's going to win this race, and that is quite the job. I make it sound pretty easy, but I'll tell you what, I guarantee that John Honeycutt right now, his heart is pounding.
Yeah, he was able to gain a half a tenth there that lap, so all he really needs to do now is put in some solid laps. I think the 17 too wounded to be able to make up any meaningful distance quick enough, as long as the 50 keeps her nice and tidy for the remainder of this race. But they will come around when he crosses the line. This time around, there will be 7 laps to go by my horrible math, and so 7 more circuits as Thomas, as to continue that thread from earlier, Thomas Splitcraft has made his way around Andrew Wisdom. So Wisdom back into the 5th position. He has a 1.2 second gap back to Jose Ruiz. So looking like it's going to be a 5th, maybe 6th place finish for Wisdom. But given the night he had, I think it's not what he wanted, but I think that's a pretty decent salvage job from what it was looking like at some points. But meanwhile, the story of the race, obviously the contact between Matthew O'Brien and Hunter Johnson while racing for the lead. The 32 of Johnson now, that car seems to be really falling off. As you said, that car is absolutely killed. The 17 of O'Brien maintaining in the 2nd spot, looks significantly quicker, but John Honeycutt, the big beneficiary in that moment, he is going to take 5 laps to go as the race leader.
You know, let's talk about John Honeycutt right now. He's got a lot of traffic directly in front of him. Let's take a look. He's got about 4 cars. These guys are really going to have to work with him. He's going to have to talk over the radio, say, hey, work with me here. Try to get these guys to give him some room to get around. But right now, he's a little over a 1.5 seconds of Matt O'Brien, and Johnson, unfortunately, just keeps falling back. He is, you know, in danger of losing the 3rd spot from Thomas Splitcraft. So we'll see what happens here, but we are 5 to go. And I'll tell you what, guys, if John Honeycutt wins here tonight, you know what that means? That locks him into the final 4 championship spot. He's going to be 1 of 4 that will bring home the championship, or have a chance to bring home a championship if he can grab the win here tonight. Pretty wild, and I know he was one that was very nervous. We're going to see if he can bring it home.
Yeah, with his performance tonight, it was looking like he was going to put himself in a really good position to be able to make it on points. He was just going to need a solid run at Martinsville, but he's going to cut out the middleman here and try to win the thing outright, lock himself in. He has about 2 3/4 of a lap to go. Meanwhile, Andrew Wisdom looking like he might lose a spot to Jose Ruiz here in the closing laps. Thomas Splitcraft on the back bumper of Hunter Johnson. So battles for 3rd and for 5th here inside of our top 6 drivers at the end of this race. But John Honeycutt with an over 2-second lead on Matthew O'Brien as he takes 2 to go.
Blinking. The blinking from John Honeycutt. Yes. 2 seconds ahead, though, of 2nd place. And oh my God.
Imagine.
No, don't you say it. No, 2 to go. Robert Reynolds on the inside in that number 10. He's got a car in front of him. Lots of cars in front of him. With 2 to go, he's got to hold on to it. You know he's nervous. He's saying, I'm just staying up high. You keep the low side. Just give me room, guys. Just give me room. I want to bring home this win. Is going to bring me to a spot in the championship race. He's making me nervous, though. That internet has got to hold out for this final lap. Is coming to the finish here, Jordan.
Yeah, John Honeycutt with smooth sailing. Thomas Splitcraft has worked his way around Hunter Johnson. The biggest battle on the field is for 5th, but John Honeycutt working his way through 3 and 4, coming to the checkered flag.
Here he comes rounding the corner. We'll see him go through the tri-oval. He gets wiggly, celebrating. Congratulations to John Honeycutt winning the Hi-Tek Security Services 115 here at Kansas Motor Speedway. You know that man is screaming right now, so we're going to have to let him celebrate. Matt O'Brien takes over 2nd. Tom Splitcraft bringing it home in 3rd, and a wounded Hunter Johnson, he brings it home in 4th.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom was able to maintain the 5th spot. Jose Ruiz with a strong run tonight, coming home in 6th. Jacob Kerr, I should say, with a very quiet 7th place finish. Dakota Kramer in 8th. Cole Snyder in 9th, and Enrique Quinones rounding out the top 10.
Huge night for FTR as John Honeycutt gets the win. Melody Woodworks out here Doing a great job. You can see him celebrating. We have Tom Flitcroft also rounding out the top 3. So these guys, a lot to celebrate here tonight. Matt O'Brien bringing home second. Wild, wild run. Martinsville, I'm telling you what, guys, you don't want to miss it, but take a look. Team FTR out there just burning it up. A lot of celebrating going on here tonight. John, congratulations to you. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
You know, it's so hard to win, and it's just awesome. Woo! Oh, I was screaming. Everybody in the radio chat are just like, hey, calm down.
I know you were nervous here. I know you were nervous here for tonight. Take us through those final laps and right before the incident happened in front of you. What went through your head? What happened with you?
You know, I was just buying my time. I felt like I was a lot better than these guys on older tires. I was just kind of pacing myself, and yeah, I saw Matt trying to go do that slide job he's been doing. We've been doing it back and forth all night, even in practice, and so I knew he was gonna try to pull it off on Hunter, and I guess he just misjudged it. Not the way I really wanted to win, but I'm glad it kind of happened because I really needed to get into the championship round, and now I can go into Martinsville next week and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, you punched your ticket into the Final Four, so next week the pressure is off. What are your goals there, and what do you see happening at Phoenix?
Phoenix, I'm pretty good at. I run pretty consistent there, so I don't know. We'll see. Martinsville, I'm just gonna try to be aggressive and maybe try to steal another win. So, I ran. I think last time we were there, I ran second, I believe. So, I'm pretty good. So I don't know. I'm just right now. I'm just excited. I can't believe I did it. It's awesome.
We'll go out there and celebrate. A huge congratulations once again, getting that win at Kansas Motor Speedway and punching your ticket into the Final Four. What a way to do it.
Thank you. And I do want to thank you for, the team owner. You did a great job all year long, broadcasting and doing this, running the team. I also want to thank Hi-Tek Security, my sisters Fabiola, Sarah, Kyle, who's watching. Also want to thank Melody Woodworks for helping out with the sponsorship on this car. So awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. And Strata says Orion and Mama are happy. Great job, FTR. So congratulations to you. And Jordan, over to you for second.
Yeah, over here with Matthew O'Brien, a strong run, came home in second place. The story of the finish there was the contact between you and the 32 battling for the lead. Talk about your night and what happened there in the closing laps from your perspective.
It was a good night. But I mean, I went for the slider. I was clear for a second, but by the time when you're sliding up like that, you can't really stop it. And my bad, but I'd be lying if I really felt bad about it because he basically did the same thing to me last week, chopping my nose. So, and he's been putting crazy blocks out and unnecessary moves, so I actually don't really feel that bad about it. And
talk about. Oh, sorry.
And I mean, I guess it's a good point today. So.
Yeah, strong points day. Talk about your thoughts going into Martinsville with the gap that you have on the cutoff. Do you feel good about that? Do you feel like you need to go win the race, or how do you feel about next week?
Feel good about my speed, but I'm sure how Hunter's been driving the last few weeks, he'll probably try to dump me. So.
Well, that is the 17 of Matthew O'Brien. A strong run tonight. Hard-fought battles, and he comes home in second place with a good position to move on to the finale next week at Martinsville.
Thomas Flitcroft rounding out the top 3. Great day for another FTR driver here. Tom, take us through the race here tonight. We saw you near the front pretty much the entire time. How was it out there for you?
Well, it's nice to be talking to you on better terms because usually it's
Right?
after I wreck or, qualify on the pole and almost take out the whole field on lap 1. So I had a couple of sketchy moments through the race. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes the car would it'd feel snug, and you'd feel, that sense of security. And then at other points in the draft, all of a sudden, I don't know what it was. Maybe just a lack of practice, but it seemed like it happened to other guys. But you just all of a sudden kind of get loose or tight, just depending on what situation you were in. So that was actually fun to battle all night long, and I just tried to keep it out of the wall, and I can't believe it. We made it home, and I don't think I had a scratch on it, but I could be wrong. But it was a good night for everybody here with FTR, and congrats to Honeycutt. We were trying to not get him too psyched out, towards the end, and I was being a realist at the end, and I was like, well, there's probably gonna be a caution anyway, so be prepared for the worst. So had to keep him on his toes there at the end, but like I said, definitely good to talk to you, and hopefully it was a good race from your perspective, and I actually had a lot of fun tonight. So yeah, it was just a good night. I'm stuttering. I ruined it. I'm just kidding. Just a good night altogether, all around. It was a great time.
Yeah, great run from Thomas Splitcraft in that number 8 machine, bringing home top 3. John Honeycutt getting the win here tonight, securing his ticket to the Final Four in the championship race. Matt O'Brien in second, a little frustrated, but we'll see how his race goes next week. You guys, I gotta say a huge thank you for tuning in. A lot of viewers out there tonight, a lot of people rooting you guys on, so I appreciate your support, and I know they do. And next week, Martinsville. It's gonna get crazy. The paperclip short track, yeah, and a cutoff race. You mix all that together, it's gonna be a wild one. Jordan, it's always fun.
Yeah, it was definitely fun tonight. Went by really fast. Drivers ripping the wall, pulling sliders, making some daring moves, and at the end of the day, John Honeycutt comes home the winner. Really looking forward to Martinsville. Again, it seems like all 4 drivers below the cutoff are basically going to be, not fully, but pretty much going to have to win the race if they're going to want to move on to the championship. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch as we go forth.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Be sure to catch Martinsville next Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a wild one. See you next time.